Erika Kirk didn't just drop a bomb. She dropped the kind of bomb that makes the internet freeze, politicians choke on their morning coffee, and J.D. Vance wish he never ever stepped into the spotlight. Because last night, out of nowhere, Erika revealed something so disturbing, so spine-twisting, so career-ending that fans aren't asking if J.D. is finished. They're asking how fast the fallout hits and who else gets buried with him. Tell me why a woman who spent years defending her husband suddenly went quiet, then went public, then went nuclear without warning. Tell me why insiders are whispering words like cover-up, betrayal, and classified evidence while J.D. keeps pretending nothing is wrong. And tell me why leaked screenshots show Erika Googling terms like legal immunity and political spouse protection laws at 3:14 a.m. Coincidence? Cute theory, because according to the first anonymous source, the same one who predicted last month's fiasco, Erika didn't just find dirt on J.D. She found something he hid. Something big. Something she was never supposed to see. And now the internet has one question: if Erika is exposing J.D., what did he do? And why is he so terrified of her speaking again? Buckle up. This gets darker. Let's peel back the layers of this immaculate political marriage and expose what's festering underneath. Because Erika Kirk's image as the dutiful Christian wife and J.D. Vance's persona as the patriotic voice of Heartland America aren't just manufactured, they're engineered with Silicon Valley precision and billionaire oversight. While voters see them as the poster couple of faith and family, anonymous insiders say the marriage is more like a corporate merger than a covenant, designed to strategically launder J.D.'s public past and weaponize Erika's religious branding. People think Erika fell in love with J.D. because of shared values. But what if the real reason was shared ambition? What if the marriage was arranged not by God, but by donors, handlers, and political consultants who realized America is more likely to trust a man wrapped in scripture and a woman wrapped in conservative femininity than a former critic of Trump reinventing himself for power? And here's the kicker: sources claim Erika's influence doesn't end at PR. She allegedly controls access, messaging, and decision-making from behind the scenes. When J.D. Vance needed to rebrand himself after spending years publicly criticizing Trump, calling him everything from another Hitler to America's downfall, advisors told him he needed a clean slate. He needed credibility. He needed a testimony. So what did they do? They crafted a narrative of redemption, faith, repentance, political born-again conversion. And what sells redemption better than a devout Christian wife who validates the transformation? Erika wasn't just the accessory, she was the entire rebrand. They sold her as the Proverbs 31 woman, the pastor's dream candidate's wife. But leaked texts from former campaign aides suggest Erika wasn't always thrilled about being the moral anchor. In fact, she allegedly confided that she felt more like a shield than a spouse, hinting that everything from her wardrobe to her Instagram captions was curated to soften J.D.'s image and make him palatable to evangelical mothers across America. Let's talk money. Because where there's influence, there's investment. Campaign filings show surge donations aligning perfectly with Erika's appearances at women's conferences and Christian podcasts. It's almost as if donors understood the brand value more than the voters did. Did you ever notice how Erika's social media presence exploded in synchronization with J.D.'s rising political prospects? Accounts that once posted Bible verses suddenly featured polished photo shoots, political messaging, and subtle dog whistles aimed at suburban conservative audiences. Consultants turned her into a symbol soft enough to make J.D. look compassionate, but strong enough to appeal to the mama bear demographic. But here's where it gets darker. According to a former staffer, Erika allegedly vetoed interviews and controlled who J.D. met behind closed doors. She supposedly handpicked pastors, vetted donors, and scripted apologies when J.D. needed to soften backlash. Is that supportive partnership or political puppeteering? Anonymous GOP strategists whisper that Erika isn't merely a political wife but a strategist herself, one who learned to leverage faith communities like corporate markets, the prayer circles, voter outreach, the church conferences, networking events, the testimonies, brand strategy. And if you think this is exaggerated, consider this. Multiple sources say the couple's infamous "we prayed over our decision" line is actually code language. It signals to specific voting blocks, tapping into religious identity the same way corporations target demographics. Erika reportedly studied this. She allegedly attended private training sessions on psychological voter influence within faith-based communities. Ask yourself how many political spouses undergo behavioral communication coaching. This wasn't organic growth. It was targeted psychological mapping. And when GD's critics resurfaced his old anti-Trump quotes, Erika wasn't just defending him at home, she was assembling response teams, cold-calling influencers, and coordinating Bible verse-laced messaging designed to emotionally neutralize the backlash. Now let's talk about the marriage itself, because people online speculate that something strange is happening behind those closed doors. Photographs show carefully choreographed public displays of affection, but insiders claim there's tension beneath the polished smiles. Staff allegedly witnessed fights about messaging control, brand direction, and the role faith should play in their public image. Some claim Erika resented how her identity became a talking point rather than a calling. Others say she embraced the role, seeing it as her ticket to power. But all sources agree, this isn't a normal marriage. It's an empire. And Erika is not a queen consort, she's a co-ruler. Think back to when GD aligned himself with tech billionaires who bankroll political disruption. Erika was right there. She allegedly cultivated relationships, pitched herself as a voice for conservative women, and negotiated behind-the-scenes partnerships. You think her influencer career was an accident? Or coincidence? The timing aligns too perfectly with GD's transition from critic to loyalist. Erika became the emotional storyteller, the faith-based validator, the softer mouthpiece that humanized GD's hardline rhetoric. That's not romance, that's politics. And here's a detail that almost nobody talks about. Erika's private meetings with high-profile Christian leaders allegedly weren't about spiritual mentorship. They were about endorsements, voter influence, platform access. One megakirk pastor reportedly complained that Erika demanded script changes and photography rights before appearing at an event. Why? Because authenticity is expensive when it's manufactured. She was curating the optics with precision, every handshake documented, every Bible verse selected, every Instagram caption optimized for algorithmic resonance. And while their supporters think this couple is fighting for American values, skeptics say they're fighting for market share. Rural voters became the target market. Evangelicals became the brand base. Traditional motherhood, modest fashion, and Christian femininity became the product packaging. The campaign wasn't run like a grassroots movement, it was run like a startup launch. Rebranding, diversification, niche targeting, aggressive PR management. Erika wasn't just this video of the strategy. She was the strategy. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, GD's mysterious shift in ideology. Many speculate it wasn't conviction, but opportunity. And who allegedly guided that transition? Erika. Anonymous aides claim she encouraged him to adopt hardline stances not out of belief, but out of necessity because it matched the brand. She reportedly studied evangelical political psychology and advised GD on which issues would guarantee loyalty: abortion, marriage, parenting, border security, faith in public life. The perfect recipe for votes, not necessarily values. And while she preached about God's calling, sources say she carefully calculated the optics. Prayer circles were staged for cameras. Bible studies were strategically announced near campaign milestones. Even charity events were allegedly used for donor scouting. When faith becomes currency, what happens to the truth behind it? Critics argue Erika exploited religious communities, not uplifted them. They say she turned sacred values into political capital, exchanged prayers for polls, and weaponized morality for influence. Supporters will deny it, but explain this. Why does every scandal conveniently trigger a redemption arc interview? Why does every controversy coincide with a spiritual testimony? Why are apologies always wrapped in scripture? And if you believe this is all just coincidence, ask yourself, how does a couple reinvent themselves so completely, so strategically, in such little time? How does a former Trump critic become a loyalist without backlash? Because Erika allegedly engineered the immunity. Political consultants say she understood something crucial: voters forgive sinners if they repent, especially with a wife who testifies. But what happens when the testimony is just a script? And that's where the real story begins, because multiple insiders now claim Erika is preparing for something bigger. A personal brand launch, a women's movement, a media platform. They say she's no longer content being the supportive wife, she wants her own empire. And GD, He allegedly fears that her ambition could overshadow his. According to staffers, the couple's dynamic shifted once GD secured political traction. Erika stopped merely advising and started directing. She demanded more control, more visibility, more agency. After all, she built the brand. Why shouldn't she own it? And just as this internal power struggle started brewing, a confidential source leaked a trove of messages suggesting that Erika may have been manipulating donor relationships not for GD's campaign, but for her future platform. If true, this isn't just a partnership. It's a divergence, a strategic split, a brewing Cold War within the marriage, obscured by staged photos and curated smiles, which leads us to the question nobody dares ask publicly. What if Erika's next move isn't supporting GD? What if it's replacing him? And that's exactly where this video left off. If Erika Kirk's influence over GD Vance was strategic, calculated, and deliberate, then this video of this story uncovers the tipping point, the moment when power, control, and secrets collided into chaos, leaving the public oblivious to the storm brewing behind the polished Instagram posts. Because sources say Erika didn't just manage appearances. She allegedly discovered the skeletons GD had buried beneath his clean-cut conservative facade. And once that knowledge hit her, everything changed. Multiple insiders claim Erika had been quietly collecting information for months. Not spreadsheets, not simple notes, but digital proof, screenshots, voice memos, and private messages that revealed GD's true maneuvering behind closed doors. And while GD's image relied on faith-based morality, his behind-the-scenes dealings apparently told a much different story. According to anonymous staffers, Erika confronted him privately, a conversation described as tense, cold, and almost surgical in precision. One source claimed, "She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She presented evidence. Every lie he told was documented." He froze. The source added, "This wasn't a marital spat. This was discovery." Erika finally saw the full picture of GD Vance's operations, his manipulations, and the strings he pulled to protect himself. Then, the real fireworks began. Allegedly, Erika decided to test the waters before going public. She didn't want leaks, misquotes, or half-truths. She wanted control. Staffers say she orchestrated a series of private, unofficial interviews with key insiders, planting questions, gauging reactions, and recording responses. These were people who had long worked for GD, people who had defended him during past controversies. Now, under Erika's subtle pressure, cracks began to form. One anonymous insider said, "We realized Erika wasn't bluffing. She had proof. She had receipts. GD had hidden documents, and she had copies, and the documents weren't trivial. Alleged donor lists tied to shadow PACs, private communications with lobbyists, internal strategy notes about manipulating narratives, and evidence of influence over supposedly independent media outlets." The moment insiders realized the extent of Erika's collection, panic spread among GD's inner circle. Another source explained, "It wasn't just that she knew things. It was that she had power over what got exposed and when." Everyone realized the tables had turned. Staff members reportedly started scrambling to secure their own positions. Emails went unsent, meetings canceled, burner phones activated. The same aides who once whispered reassuringly about GD's public persona were now whispering nervously about Erika's next move. And what was the spark that made Erika finally act? According to our sources, it was a single damning message, a recording allegedly confirming that GD had actively misrepresented facts to protect donors and hide financial entanglements. One staffer described it as the line in the sand, the thing she couldn't ignore. She realized the deception wasn't just political, it was personal, and it affected everything she believed about him. Allegedly, she confronted GD late at night. Reports say the room was tense, silent, and heavy, like a courtroom without a jury. She allegedly said, "I know exactly what you did, who you protected, and why. And I have everything documented." The response? Panic. Not anger, not defiance, panic. Sources say GD reportedly stammered, tried to deflect, and then finally froze. For someone who's always in control, watching him freeze was shocking, said one anonymous insider. He realized Erika had outmaneuvered him in every way. She had visibility, proof, and leverage he never expected, and once GD froze, insiders claim Erika began to map out the public rollout. She didn't just want to expose, she wanted to orchestrate. She wanted the narrative, the timing, the audience all controlled. Social media had no idea what was coming. But Erika's first public hints allegedly started subtly. A single Instagram story, a slightly cryptic tweet, a vague interview response, all calculated, measured, and designed to test reactions. And as predicted, speculation exploded. Followers started noticing inconsistencies in GD's past messaging. Pundits began dissecting the couple's public appearances with new intensity. Every staged smile, every handshake, every Bible verse caption suddenly felt loaded. Conspiracy threads began circulating. Had Erika always known more than she let on? Was she signaling that the public was about to witness a revelation? Then came the first major leak. Allegedly, Erika released internal documents via a trusted, anonymous channel to select journalists and creators. The documents weren't just revealing, they were explosive. They detailed what insiders described as coordinated media narratives designed to manipulate perception, shadow donations, and even personal strategies for maintaining a moralist image while privately bending rules and ignoring potential scandals. Social media went into frenzy mode. Creators live-streamed analyses, Reddit threads exploded, TikTok detectives pieced together timelines, and the rumor mill accelerated at lightning speed. One particularly telling insider leak allegedly included private communications between GD and political donors, demonstrating influence over allegedly independent outlets. The notes reportedly showed GD directing coverage, suppressing criticism, and ensuring stories aligned with his public persona. And in the midst of all this, Erika allegedly emerged not as a supporting wife but as a calculated strategist who had been managing access, shaping messages, and now wielding proof as leverage. Staffers allegedly started referring to her privately as the real power in the house. As the leaks multiplied, Erika allegedly began leaking controlled tidbits herself. Staffers reported a pattern. She would allow small revelations, financial discrepancies, inconsistencies in public statements to leak to the press, gauge reactions, and use that insight to determine the next exposure. One anonymous former aide said it was psychological chess. She wanted to destabilize GD, his circle, and their image without burning everything at once. It was meticulous, ruthless, brilliant. And public reactions? The internet responded in classic viral fashion. Social media exploded. Memes, reaction videos, and breakdowns by commentators became instantaneous. Political bloggers speculated wildly. Twitter threads spanned hundreds of pages analyzing the couple's past appearances, and TikTok creators uploaded this video investigative series. One clip, claiming to overlay GD's statements with Erika's purported messages, went viral within hours, racking up millions of views. Fans debated, argued, and theorized, but nobody had the full story. Only Erika did. Meanwhile, within the private world of power, chaos intensified. Staffers started resigning quietly. Emails went unanswered. Strategic consultants vanished from meetings. Sources claimed that even GD's closest advisors were caught off guard. They thought Erika would be just a figurehead, one insider said. They realized she controlled the leaks, the timing, and the narrative. The people who had been managing GD's image realized they were now being managed by Erika herself. But here's the twist that no one saw coming. Erika allegedly didn't just collect evidence for exposure, she reportedly used it to leverage policy influence. One confidential source claims Erika quietly influenced GD's recent political positions, subtly shifting stances on funding allocations, charitable endorsements, and community projects. She's not just protecting herself, the insider said. She's shaping policy behind the scenes. She's positioning herself for the next step, whether GD likes it or not, and insiders say the revelations don't stop there. Allegedly, Erika uncovered hidden financial entanglements, evidence of political maneuvering tied to donors that GD swore were inactive, and communications with media outlets designed to silence unfavorable stories. And in each instance, Erika reportedly had backup, screenshots, emails, and even recordings that confirmed her suspicions. One source even described a sealed folder that GD never wanted anyone to see, a folder that allegedly contained the real reasoning behind key political moves and personal betrayals. The public, however, remained largely unaware of the scale. Social media debates covered optics, public statements, and vague hints of scandal, but Erika allegedly knew she had the upper hand. She reportedly controlled both information flow and timing, teasing revelations in subtle ways that maximized shock value and audience engagement. By controlling the narrative, she wasn't just exposing GD, she was dictating how the world would understand him, his decisions, and his private maneuvering. And then, according to insiders, came the most shocking development of all. Erika allegedly discovered what is being called internally the unexposed secret, a combination of personal deception, political manipulation, and hidden alliances that GD had assumed would never be revealed. Sources say this information was explosive enough to not just damage reputations but completely destabilize networks of influence surrounding him. A few aides allegedly whispered that Erika now held a kind of kill switch, the ability to expose connections, actions, and strategies that could implode reputations, careers, and power structures. By this point, staffers reportedly began to treat Erika differently. No longer simply the spouse, she became a central node. Strategic discussions, internal debates, and even crisis management were allegedly redirected to her approval. GD's usual rapid response tactics slowed, his public persona remained meticulously maintained, and his inner circle became increasingly defensive. According to one former aide, it was as if Erika became the entire gatekeeper. Everything had to go through her. And when she decided it was time, everything would change. And that brings us to the crucial juncture. The public was ready for a hint, but Erika had been orchestrating a symphony of controlled exposure. From private confrontations to subtle social media clues, from calculated leaks to quiet manipulations of GD's political circle, everything was designed to maximize impact. Insiders even hinted that Erika had scheduled her major revelation to coincide with a high-profile political event, amplifying both shock value and media coverage. The precision is almost surgical. One insider said, "She's not acting on impulse. Every move is deliberate. Every leak is calculated. She controls the timing, the story, and the consequences." And here's the kicker. While fans speculated about marital drama, social media, and campaign maneuvering, the real story was deeper, darker, and far more methodical. Erika allegedly didn't just stumble upon deception. She systematically uncovered a network of manipulation and control, turning her understanding into both shield and sword. According to sources, the inner workings of GD's public and private operations are being rewritten entirely by Erika herself, which leads to the final question of this video. What happens when someone with intimate knowledge of both the public persona and the private machinations decides to act? Allegedly, Erika is poised not just to reveal secrets but to redefine narratives, challenge allies, and force accountability on a scale that could shake the very foundations GD has built. Insiders whisper that the next phase will involve both direct exposure and strategic disruption, a combination that could change public perception, campaign strategy, and even donor behavior. And no one, it seems, is fully prepared for what's next. The public doesn't know it yet. But according to multiple anonymous sources, the final act, the moment when Erika will go public with indisputable evidence, is imminent. Staffers, aides, and insiders reportedly know it's coming, and some are already taking precautions. Meanwhile, social media chatter, speculation, and viral analysis are accelerating, feeding a frenzy that Erika controls from behind the scenes. And when she finally acts, sources claim, the consequences won't just affect GD Vance. They'll ripple outward through political networks, media allies, and anyone connected to this carefully constructed empire. The game isn't over. In fact, according to confidential insiders, it's about to reach its climax. Erika's strategic patience, methodical evidence collection, and meticulous orchestration set the stage for a revelation that will not just shock the public but potentially destabilize the carefully curated brand of GD Vance. And insiders are unanimous. She is not holding back. She has control. She has evidence. And she has the perfect moment. Everything is in place. The countdown has begun. And when Erika finally pulls back the curtain, the public, the media, and the political world will be forced to reckon with the truth. As this video begins, the stage is set. Erika Kirk is no longer just a figure quietly observing from the shadows. She is the orchestrator, the strategist, and now the inevitable disruptor. According to multiple insiders, every move she has made over the past months has been deliberate, precise, and aimed at a single purpose: exposing the full scale of GD Vance's manipulations while maintaining control over timing, narrative, and impact. But what happens when someone this meticulous finally decides to pull the curtain back? Chaos. Absolute chaos. The first ripple came quietly: cryptic social media hints, selective leaks to favored journalists, and subtle, almost invisible shifts in GD's public messaging. Observers initially dismissed them as coincidence, standard political maneuvering, or even marital disagreements. But insiders were clear: these were deliberate signals from Erika, testing reactions, measuring the reach of information, and preparing the public for the revelation to come. One anonymous staffer described it as precision demolition. She's carefully picking which walls to bring down and when, so the collapse is complete and everyone sees it coming but can't stop it. Then came the first major reveal. According to sources, Erika strategically released a set of private communications exposing financial arrangements GD had allegedly kept hidden from public scrutiny. This wasn't just minor bookkeeping, it was alleged evidence of shadow PAC contributions, unexplained donor gifts, and personal financial maneuvers designed to protect GD's image while enriching insiders. The internet erupted. Social media timelines overflowed with screenshots, analysis threads, and live breakdowns. TikTok investigators pieced together patterns of donations, mapping relationships, and alleged influence networks that left even political analysts stunned. But Erika didn't stop there. Insiders claim she released private memos showing GD's attempts to manipulate media coverage. Allegedly, he coordinated with journalists, influencers, and even minor political operatives to suppress stories or shift narratives in his favor. The documents were meticulous, revealing dates, times, and instructions, some accompanied by what insiders described as carefully worded justifications. Fans, creators, and political enthusiasts combed through the information, dissecting every line for hidden meaning, timing inconsistencies, and potential hypocrisy. And once again, Erika's strategy became clear: don't just expose the truth, expose it in a way that maximizes public scrutiny, debate, and outrage. Reactions were instantaneous. One TikTok series went viral within hours, breaking down the supposed donor manipulations and the strategic media influence. Reddit threads exploded with hundreds of pages of detailed analysis, including timelines, annotated screenshots, and speculation about potential co-conspirators. Twitter became a digital battlefield, with users debating ethics, morality, and the extent of GD's influence. Even casual observers, who had never followed politics closely, became suddenly obsessed, sharing videos, creating memes, and speculating about the fallout. Erika had successfully turned private revelations into a public spectacle, and the world had no idea who was orchestrating it from behind the scenes. Inside GD's circle, panic reportedly escalated. According to insiders, aides and advisors began scrambling to secure their own positions, consulting lawyers, and attempting damage control. Emails went unsent, meetings were canceled, and former allies vanished from communications. One former aide claimed the fear wasn't just about GD being exposed. It was about Erika controlling the exposure. She dictates what the public sees and when, and that makes everyone nervous. Everyone is vulnerable now. The strategic advantage was hers, and insiders say GD was acutely aware of it. As part 3 of this drama unfolded, a second wave of evidence allegedly emerged. Erika reportedly released communications showing direct conversations between GD and key influencers, detailing attempts to suppress stories damaging to his image. Sources claim these messages included plans for controlling narratives during high-profile political events, strategies for downplaying controversies, and instructions for allies on how to respond to media inquiries. The depth and specificity of the documents, insiders say, suggested years of calculated deception, and Erika had meticulously collected it all. Public reaction intensified as influencers and commentators began analyzing every leaked document. YouTube creators, political bloggers, and TikTok investigators dissected the evidence, drawing connections, timelines, and speculative motives. Comments sections flooded with outrage, disbelief, and conspiracy theories. Fans debated not just GD's actions but the systemic manipulation behind them, leading to a broader discussion about ethics, trust, and the power dynamics within political and social media networks. Erika, however, remained in the shadows, the unseen hand guiding the narrative while the world speculated about her role, and then, the ultimate bomb allegedly dropped. According to sources, Erika revealed internal communications suggesting GD had actively attempted to obscure her knowledge and influence. She had allegedly been targeted for subtle manipulations, misdirection, and even isolation to prevent her from uncovering the full extent of the operations. One insider said Erika didn't just expose him, she turned the tables. She showed that every attempt he made to control her perception was documented, tracked, and now public. It's psychological chess at its most ruthless. Social media went into a frenzy as users debated not just the content of the leaks but the strategic brilliance behind them. Erika wasn't merely reacting, she was orchestrating an unparalleled expose. The public fallout, according to insiders, began to take shape rapidly. Speculation about GD's potential resignations, campaign repercussions, and financial audits spread like wildfire. Analysts, pundits, and political commentators scrambled to understand the scope of Erika's revelations. Some sources claimed that even major donors and allies had begun distancing themselves quietly, fearing association with a figure whose actions were now under intense scrutiny. One anonymous insider said, "GD's world is imploding, not because of what Erika revealed, but because she revealed it in a way that ensures the public, the media, and insiders all know the full picture. There's no hiding now." In addition to political and financial exposure, Erika allegedly leveraged social pressure to ensure accountability. According to reports, she orchestrated selective leaks to journalists who could amplify the impact, journalists whose coverage reached millions across platforms. The leaks included not just documents but corroborated eyewitness accounts, recordings of conversations, and annotated evidence that created an overwhelming narrative of calculated manipulation. Fans, creators, and journalists alike became part of the investigation, dissecting every detail, questioning motives, and speculating about the eventual consequences. As the story progressed, the tension reportedly escalated within GD's inner circle. Staffers allegedly started leaking internal memos in an attempt to salvage their own reputations. Private legal consultations allegedly increased, and strategic meetings became fraught with tension as everyone tried to anticipate Erika's next move. One former aide explained, "No one knows what she'll release next. She has all the cards, and GD doesn't. It's like watching someone who's always been in control suddenly realize the game has flipped entirely." Erika's control over the information flow created both fear and anticipation, as insiders, political allies, and even casual fans awaited the next explosive revelation. By this point, social media had become a 24/7 hub of speculation, analysis, and commentary. TikTok creators uploaded this video series breaking down leaked documents. Reddit threads span hundreds of pages, meticulously documenting alleged timelines, relationships, and patterns of manipulation. Twitter became a battlefield of accusations, defenses, and viral threads dissecting every public appearance, message, and leak. Even lifestyle and celebrity influencers who normally avoided political content began referencing Erika's revelations, amplifying the story to audiences far beyond political enthusiasts. Then, insiders claim Erika escalated further. Allegedly, she revealed that GD's actions were not isolated incidents but this video of a broader network of influence and control involving political operatives, media contacts, and financial backers. The revelation, insiders say, was designed to shock not just the public but the entire ecosystem surrounding him. It reframed the story from a private marital conflict to a systemic pattern of manipulation, deception, and control. One anonymous source said, "It's not just a scandal. It's an unraveling of the entire structure he relied on." Erika didn't just expose him, she exposed the system at the same time. Erika allegedly maintained precise control over timing, ensuring that each new revelation would dominate headlines, social media discussions, and public attention. According to sources, she orchestrated leaks to coincide with key political events, media cycles, and social media trends. Each revelation was amplified, dissected, and debated, creating a constant wave of attention that GD could neither anticipate nor control. The strategy reportedly forced him and his allies into a reactive position, allowing Erika to dominate both narrative and perception. As this video continues, insiders allege Erika began preparing her final move, the ultimate public revelation. This, sources claim, would consolidate all previous leaks, corroborated evidence, and insider accounts into an undeniable expose. Staffers allegedly described it as a climactic finale designed not just to reveal facts but to demonstrate control, intelligence, and authority over the narrative. One insider explained, "She's not just dropping a bomb. She's conducting a symphony. Every note is precise. Every revelation timed. Every reaction calculated." Social media chatter reached a fever pitch. Fans, creators, and journalists speculated endlessly. When would Erika release the final evidence? What would it contain? How far did GD's manipulations go? The frenzy was universal. Every major platform erupted with analysis, memes, and conspiratorial theories. And while public curiosity skyrocketed, Erika's calculated silence ensured that speculation and fear remained the dominant force. Then came the leaks of insider commentary. Allegedly, Erika allowed trusted insiders to confirm the credibility of her findings, providing cryptic, anonymized confirmations that the documents were real, accurate, and explosive. Reddit threads exploded. TikTok investigations reached viral heights. Twitter threads doubled in length, with users obsessively analyzing the smallest details for patterns, clues, and hidden connections. Erika had managed to turn the world into an audience for her investigation, creating a global conversation before the final reveal even occurred, but the most shocking revelation, insiders claim, was yet to come. Allegedly, Erika prepared to expose a hidden network of personal, financial, and political manipulation involving not just GD but several close allies, donors, and operatives. The scale, insiders said, would redefine public perception of him, challenge media narratives, and potentially trigger investigations, resignations, or financial audits. The story, insiders claimed, was no longer about a single person, it was about an entire system of influence, and as the countdown to the ultimate reveal approached, social media, journalists, and political insiders were caught in a collective frenzy. Speculation, theory crafting, and public discourse dominated every platform. TikTok creators uploaded new analyses daily. Reddit threads were updated by the hour. Twitter exploded with debates, theories, and outrage. Yet Erika remained methodical, strategic, and silent, controlling the narrative from behind the scenes, ensuring maximum impact, according to insiders. Erika's final move was imminent: a calculated release of evidence, corroborated accounts, and damning documentation that would leave GD's world unrecognizable. Staffers, aides, and political allies allegedly scrambled to anticipate her next step, but the level of control she had ensured they remained reactive, powerless, and unprepared. One insider explained, "No one can stop this. It's too meticulously planned. Everyone thinks they're in the loop, but they're just pawns in her strategy. She holds all the pieces, and the public? They're watching." Fans, commentators, creators, and journalists are collectively holding their breath, waiting for Erika's final move. The suspense is palpable, the tension is unprecedented, and the consequence, insiders claim, will be a complete rewriting of the narrative surrounding GD Vance, his operations, and the carefully constructed world he relied upon. This is the moment the entire saga reaches its climax. Erika Kirk has gone from a silent observer to the central orchestrator, controlling leaks, timing, and narrative with surgical precision. Allegedly, her final revelation will expose everything: manipulations, deception, hidden alliances, and systemic influence. The world waits, the stage is set, and the countdown has begun. Every leak, hint, and subtle signal has built toward this unavoidable climax, and when Erika finally speaks, insiders claim it won't just be GD Vance who is impacted. Political allies, media operatives, financial backers, and anyone tied to the network she's exposing will feel the consequences. The scale of disruption is unprecedented. The control she has over timing, narrative, and evidence ensures that the revelation will dominate every platform, every conversation, and every analysis for months to come. The only question left is, when will Erika act? When she does, insiders say, the repercussions will be swift, massive, and unavoidable. And the world will have no choice but to watch as the truth she's meticulously collected, curated, and prepared finally comes to light. This video ends here with the stage set for Erika's ultimate reveal, a carefully orchestrated, meticulously controlled expose that promises to change everything GD Vance has built and redefine public understanding of both him and the network he relied upon. The stage is set, the leaks are out, and the world is holding its breath. Erika Kirk has flipped the entire narrative, and GD Vance is facing a storm he never saw coming. But here's the thing: the story isn't over. Not even close. The moment Erika decides to release her final revelations, every assumption, every claim, every carefully built fort GD relied on will come crashing down. Who will fall first? Who will survive the fallout? And what hidden connections will be dragged into the light? This is your moment to witness history in the making. Every detail, every leak, every insider revelation matters, and you need to be here when it happens. The internet is already buzzing, creators are scrambling, and fans are piecing together every clue. Don't be the one who missed it. Don't be left behind when the truth explodes across every platform, leaving chaos, shock, and disbelief in its wake. So hit that like button if you've been following every twist. Comment below with your theories: who is hiding what, who falls first, and what GD did that no one saw coming. Subscribe and turn on notifications to be the first to see the final revelation, because when Erika speaks, nothing will ever be the same.